Hi guys, this is Avinash Sharma, and in this video we will discuss the light version of this SQL, that is called the SqlLite. How to use the SqlLite in Python using the pandas library. Then how to manipulate the data, how to add the new data, how to edit the data, and how to delete the data from that database. This is very similar to the SQL database where we store the data in table, then later on we manipulate the data. And finally we will check how to fetch the data and then display the data using the data frame. So as I told you, we would be discussing the SQLite, that is the light version of the SQL server. And as I told you, like we store the data in table format in SQL database. So as you can see in the diagram, this is the format of the table, and the table consists of the row and column. So the rows are in the horizontal form and the columns are the vertical form. So column 1, column 2, then we have the row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. Each and every row has its own index number, and that index number starts from the 0, and these index number is generated by the Python automatically. As you can see in the row, we have the columns. Actually the collection of the, or like we can say the values of the columns all together is called a row. Say row 1 we have the Ritu Verma, EMP ID, phone number, then address. So all together this column is called the row. So Python will follow the same approach using the SQLite. As you see in this diagram, we can create the multiple database, and in the each and every database we can create the multiple tables. So because the database is like a container, it can hold the single table or multiple table. Now we check with the practical how to create the database using the SQLite. First of all, you have to check the SQLite in your Python. If it is not, then first of all you have to install the SQLite latest version of SQLite in your Python. Now we discuss the program. The very first line is the import SQLite 3, that is the version. So you can use the latest version. Then we have the try and catch block, and the try catch block, then we have that is the variable and SQLite 3 package name, then function is the connect. This function needs a parameter and we pass the MyDatabase. This is the name of the database we are creating, and it is the user defined. It could be any name. So I am taking the MyDatabase, and then on the instance of the connection another variable, that the C, and we use the cursor function. This function basically execute the SQL statement. Then next statement c.execute, and we have the SQL statement in this one. So right now we are creating a table, that is the product table. In this product table we have three fields, that is the ID and data type is the integer, then and it is the primary key. It means no duplicate ID allowed in this table. Then we have the product name, it's a text or varchar, and then third one the price, integer. So after creating the table in the database, because the connection is open, now finally connection.commit, it means it closes the connection. And then we have the print statement, then except statement. If suppose there is an error, then it will jump to that SQLite.error, and then finally we print the error. And then we have the finally block. So you know the finally block always executes, whether it's an error exit or not. So in case like before committing the database and there is an error, so the connection state is open. Now we have the finally block. So in finally block it will check if the state of the connection is open, say if connection, then close state, and finally we have a statement, print statement. So now we execute this program and then run. So command executed successfully, this one, and then finally block SQL connection closed. Now if we check our Python, then we have this MyDatabase, and you can see seconds ago just created. If we rerun this program, so what happens? Because already we created the database, that is the MyDatabase. Now this time it will not create the new database. First of all it checks whether the MyDatabase exists. If exists, then it will create a connection with that database. So in case of the rerun program, now it will just connect the MyDatabase, and again I am executing the table product table, but the rule is in database the name of the all the tables must be the unique. So I am trying to create the another table, but that's with the same name, that is the product table. If I try this statement again, so error, table product already exists, so we cannot create the table with the name of products in the my database. But if I say, now the condition is if not exist. If I run this program, then command created successfully, SQL connection in final block closed. It means there is no error, but table was not created because of this condition. Now we check how to insert the data in table, and then we'll check how to fetch the data from the table and display the data in a table format using the data frame. So now we import the two library, that is the SQLite 3 and then pandas. Then and we are connecting the same database, that is the MyDatabase, and then we write the query insert into product, then name of columns and the values in the same sequence. There are 5 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can insert the single or multiple records at a time. Then execute and select. It means after inserting the record, we have to check whether records has been inserted or not. Then for that purpose, to fetch the records, we use the select query. And then df equal to pandas library data frame. In data frame, we write c.fetch all. It means all records. Then which columns? We define the list of the columns in the columns parameters. ID, product name, price. It means we right now we are fetching all the columns. We print that data frame. Now we run this program. So finally, after inserting the records, it displayed the records inserted into database using this command print df, and ID equal to 1 to 5, then list of the product name and then the price. So this is how we can insert the record in the SQLite database and then display the records using the data frame from the pandas library. Now we'll check how to insert the new records with the new ID, then how to delete the records, and then how to update the value of some column in the SQLite database. So in this program you can see, first of all insert into, then we are adding the new records with the key, that is the 6, because from 1 to 5 already exist and its a ID is a primary key, it's a unique key. This table maintains the unique key in the ID, so we cannot insert the duplicate. That's why we are taking the 6. Then in second execute command, we delete the one record whose ID equal to 1. Then we update the product name flower whose ID is a 2. And finally then we fetch the records from the table. So if I try this program, so you can see ID number 1 doesn't exist anymore because it has been deleted from this one. Then we added the new record 6 number, and we have the 6 number, then laptop, and then we updated the name of the product flower with the ID equal to 2, then on the 2 we have the flower, and finally we have the select statement. So this is how you can insert the records, update the records, delete the records in the SQLite in the Python using the pandas library. So guys, this was all about the SQLite in the Python and using the pandas library for displaying the record. So guys, please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.